Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, I was just watching a live thing from Tobias where he was talking about Rough Ryder reserves, and one of the things mentioned in the chat that was like a joke, he was talking about the different types of patterns that they could come out with, and it's a really good video. I'll try to link it up there, but one of the things he was saying is, they should come out with a really nice Barlow and everything, with a big sheet, with a big bolster on it and everything. And I said, if Rough Ryder had a big bolster, they'd just slap a big R on it. And that's exactly what they do. Here's a nice big, Barlow, and they slap this R on it. Because I was thinking about, that's why I've got so many of these knives here, is I've got examples of Rough Ryders with this R, and I've got it without. And frankly, without, I'm on the, I know that we've been beating this horse to death, but they take an otherwise good design. One of the ways to do it is just look at the knife, just flip it over, and just look at it, and you decide which side you like better. Because what happens is, you'll take a knife, if you look at a knife like this and you saw it sitting there, without this huge R on it and everything, you cover that up, and you're starting to think, wow, that's a pretty nice knife. I wonder who made it and stuff, You throw this on there, and bam, to me, it just ruins it. Now, they've done it before without the big R. That, like I said, they've used the horseshoe and the RR. Okay, that's better, but really, which side looks better if you're looking at a knife? Artists and everybody else see this as real estate, as advertising real estate and everything. You want to do any advertising, put it on the, not here either, just put it right here. Put your name, your manufacturer, what metal it's made out of, country of origin. You can do it on both sides of the blade, right there. And then you leave this for us, for people that just want to see a nice, clean blade, or don't want to have to worry about, if I use this, is it going to start screwing with this etching? Now, actually, this is pretty durable etching here on this, but still, that gets in the way. It's just like with my case, with the, dig it out of my pocket, 'cause it's riding with me. The etching on it, case, at least didn't slap a big C here, but this etching, it's more like a vinyl laminate kind of feeling on it. Maybe it's paint, but it's going to start wearing off. I'm using it anyway. I'm cutting with it. I don't care. But they could have just left all that off, and we'd have a nice. I don't want to look at limited edition. I understand, this is great for collectors. I get it, If you're a big fan of the R, or you're a big fan of billboarding, okay. I'm just saying I'm not. And I think the reason why is, if you like shields and everything, look at one side without shields, I understand you need to put a shield in and everything else. And also like that, as far as like get into that video with the Rough Ryders, what the reserve could do, kind of my take on it is, yeah, they're getting a little too wild with some of their stuff. I think it's like an engineer approaches something like, what's the biggest complaint? Well, blade rub. We really don't like blade rub. Well, we could work at it a lot better and make them better, or we could just put huge spacers in here, and hey, the blades will never rub. Problem solved. Problem solved. You solve problem. So yeah, and then blade wrap. People complain about the wrap. Takes too long to teach somebody how to fix this. We put a pin down here. Make it real wide and huge washers, and they want a better steel, we give them better steel and better covers. Now we charge them a lot of money. Yeah, now it doesn't look like a traditional knife anymore. Now it looks like a Frankenstein or a Russian tank version of something. We fix strong, comrade. We make it big, strong, tough. It fix. It take on rhinos straight in front. It's tough. It's tough. Yeah, but it doesn't look like a traditional knife. See, the thing about knives are, everybody's got different shapes that they like. Everybody's got different patterns and everything. They were made for specialized purposes a lot of times. And yeah, if you take them out of their comfort zone, they can do other things. They could, they don't have to just be pruning. They could work fine in carpentry and stuff. But you start trying to use them for other tasks, like you're gonna find out that it has its limitations, even though it's big or whatever. Here's an example of a modern Rough Ryder with no big R on it. Yay! Yay! To me, the knife looks better than this. This is a great knife. I like this, but oh my God, why? And it's not just like an R. It's like an R with a. They're trying to put it into the slant, and then for some reason they had to underline it, which makes it look like a T a lot of times. RT. So if you're talking about name recognition, we're getting you confused with Robert Thompson or something, or who knows. But it isn't Rough Ryder. So I know, this problem is supposedly going to be fixed, but there's example after example of otherwise really great looking designs that all of a sudden, bam, you've got to slap that on there. And if I'm rubbing this into the ground, it's like with billboarding and stuff, Okay, this is all right, I like the little motto, back in the good old days, the Tobacco Road. That's kind of, this is what is more interesting, the little brass pins and the notching and everything. That makes it look a lot more interesting, but when you do this, again, like I said, which side looks better? If it's fine, you got that there interrupting it, and Robert T is here to make his mark again, then fine. But I'm sure they got like billions of these made up, and they just stamp them out and throw them in there, and they're stuck with branding. We must have our brand on there, or whatever thought process was going on there. But as far as like if you want a knife to look good, lose that R, man. I mean, really, RT, lose it. It just doesn't look good at all. I'm not saying that, like I said, this isn't too bad sometimes. This isn't too bad because you've got the horseshoe, so you're linking it back to older times, traditional, so because very few people uses horses to ride around and stuff on anymore. I mean, they're still there, but it's not as predominant, just like a lot of these blade shapes. A lot of these things are set up for things like skinning, trapping. How often have you skinned an animal? I mean, some people do. I know if you live on a farm, a lot of this is going to be a lot more relevant. But again, we had a pretty good looking knife here, and then something happened to it. The Yellow Knives Matter Club had to come in here and represent. They had to say, hey, we can look good without a big R. I know you didn't have enough room to do it in there. Just like on this one. They didn't have enough room to put them on there. This one I could have. I think it was in a time before the whole RT thing started happening. And here, this knife looks fine with just a shield, I mean, I'm not a big anti-shield fan. My anti-thing on it is that they have to fall off. They're glued on. If they were pinned in and you wouldn't have them lost, fine, but if you're going to put it in, really, by now, when was rubber cement popular? Way back in like the 80s or 70s or 50, for like, I remember at school they'd have like rubber glue, safe for kids or whatever, and you could put it on stuff, but it didn't adhere very well. They got stuck to that somehow. Here's another knife that looks fine without a big R on it, doesn't it? It looks fine. If you go on a shield, put a big ass buoy in there. So far this thing hasn't fallen out, but I don't drag around. But I'd be perfectly happy with something like this. And it would make you wonder when you're looking at it. I know this is kind of like brand recognition and everything, but it would make you wonder, hey, who made that knife? Is that a case? Is that a GEC? Is that a, but if you've got a huge R slapped up on there, well, you got no doubt about what it is. And they can still have name recognition within their shield. See, there's a little Rough Ryder. I mean, they can hide it in there. But really, I like, it's just a personal thing. It's just like, here's another one that doesn't have an R on it. But what did they do? They did some fancy, you want to play artsy. They put little flutes in there and made it look, this is the French tickler. But as far as like shields go, like this one almost looks like a Chevrolet emblem, it's like a truck, Over here, I'd rather have this, it's like natural materials. Anyway, that's just my thought on it. That's why I had all these knives out of here. It's just like Barlow's, Here's a Barlow with no big R on it and everything. It looks pretty cool. This may actually be, see, it's got me wondering, is this marbles or is this Rough Riders? It's marbles. I thought I found a Rough Ryder because they look so, I thought I had a Rough Ryder here, Barlow with no, but no, they want to put stuff on that real estate. And if it's the big RT, see how this one doesn't stand out as much, kind of blends in and is more natural. And this is just like, oh my God. Is this a monogrammed, personalized knife? Robert, please come to the front desk. Your knife has been found. Robert Townsend, please come to the front desk. So yeah, otherwise good knives. Like I said, they're still all right. The reason why I like this one is because it's patinaed enough that it's blending in and not sticking out as much. But backwoods, bushcrafter, would have been better for having it look kind of like backwoods instead of billboard. I like how they kind of like blackwashed this to make it look like it was acid wash. But I think it's just it's not patina or anything, because it's... Anyway. That's just my thought on the big R. Down with the big R. I know they're eliminating them eventually, but they should think about this. They've made so many. This has gone on for so many years. And people have complained, Some people are like, I like it. Okay. The majority of the people, it's just like lanyard holds on a lot of... I like lanyards and knives, but you know what? Most people don't like lanyard holes. And if they're interfering, like on flippers, if they're interfering with your pocket clip, your deep carry is sacrificed, because now you had to make room way down here. Come up with other ways of doing lanyard holes, The ones in the back are nice if they leave you enough room. If they got a little pin back here. But a lot of times you can't even use paracord on that. Or you have to take all the strands out of it to use it. And a lanyard comes in handy for things like, you're fishing around in your pocket and like, where is it? Well, you grab a lanyard or it's already sticking out. It's a pull cord. Bing, you just pull it. There it is. It's there. So anyway, yeah. It's kind of a weird, long, rambly one. But I was just looking at this knife. I was going, wow, this is pretty cool. If it wouldn't have this huge friggin' RT on it, So not only did you billboard, but you billboarded incorrectly. So come on, why didn't you put it flat on the top? And then we could... It's just odd. It's just weird. It's just strange. And it's gone on for so long. It's been a long, strange trip we've been on. But anyways, I've rambled on enough. Let's give you some examples, because I don't mind shields. Look, boat anchor. I like that. Ooh, that's nice. If I want to know what brand it is or anything, there's no billboarding over here. Guess what? I can open up the blade and find out, hey, Rough Ryder made this. Problem solved. Not everybody wants to know who Robert Townsend is, except for Robert and the guy in the Rough Ryder factory. See, I also thought that maybe it was this guy, T. His name is actually T, and he's in the factory, and he wants to take over R's position. So he snuck in a way to get his initial in there, Robert Townsend's here. I eat monsters for dinner. Anyway, there you go. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.